It's about building something meaningful from nothing. The reporter smiled. That's powerful. It's my story, I said simply after the crowd cleared. I was packing up when I heard it. Emma, that voice. I turned. Daniel stood a few feet away, hands in pockets, looking uncertain in a way I'd never seen. Hi, Daniel. I had no idea. I didn't know Myra was yours. I've been seeing the name everywhere but never connected it to you. Why would you? Last time we spoke, I was just a girl with hobbies. He flinched. I never said that. Your mother did, you just agreed. Silence hung heavy between us. Emma, I've thought about you constantly. I wanted to reach out but didn't know what to say. And now you do. He looked around at the empty stage, the remnants of my success. I was wrong about everything, about you, about what matters. I let my family dictate my decisions and lost something real. I studied his face. He looked older. Tired, like someone who realized his mistakes too late. I appreciate you saying that, but I didn't build this for you. I know, I can see that. I built it for myself. He nodded slowly. Can we talk sometime, maybe get coffee? I considered his request. 2 years ago I would have said yes immediately, would have jumped at the chance. To hear him say he was wrong, to feel like I'd won. But standing there I realized something. I didn't need his validation anymore. I don't think so, that chapter is closed. His face fell. Emma, you made a choice, Daniel. You chose your family's approval over me. I don't hold that against you anymore, but I don't need to revisit it either. I've moved on. With someone else, I smiled. With myself, I'm exactly where I need to be. He nodded, resignation settling in. I'm proud of you for what it's worth. It's worth something, but not what you think. He reached into his pocket, pulled out a business card. In case you ever change your mind. I didn't take it. Goodbye, Daniel. I picked up my bag and walked past him, didn't look back. Outside, the night air was cool and clean. I breathed deeply. Jasmine appeared beside me. Was that him? Yeah. How do you feel? I thought about it. Free. Showcase changed everything. Within a week, features in 3 major fashion blogs. Within a month, magazine interviews. By quarter's end, Myra had exploded beyond imagination. I moved into a proper showroom, hired a full team, designers, seamstresses, marketing coordinator, accountant, no longer a one-woman operation, a real business now. The growth was exhilarating and terrifying. I made mistakes, struggled with delegation, worked too much, slept too little. But every challenge felt purposeful. 6 months later, an email made me pause. A luxury department store. They wanted to carry Myra in boutique locations nationwide, the kind of deal that could catapult everything into mainstream recognition. I called a team meeting. This is huge, Jasmine said, reading the proposal, but we'd need to scale up production significantly. Can we do it without compromising quality? We spent 3 hours on logistics, costs, risks, finally decided to move forward with strict quality control. Myra would grow, but it would grow right. I signed the contract 2 weeks later. The next year was a complete blur. Myra launched nationwide. We opened a flagship location. I hired more staff, traveled to fabric markets, fashion weeks, business meetings that would have destroyed me 2 years earlier. My face appeared in magazines. I was invited to panels about entrepreneurship. Young designers reached out for advice. I tried to stay grounded, remembered that tiny apartment, that first viral video. The nights I cried alone, wondering if I was making a terrible mistake. I never wanted to lose that hunger, that humility. One day, sorting through mail, I found an envelope with familiar handwriting. My mother. Inside was a handwritten letter and a newspaper clipping. The article featured Myra and me. She wrote, Emma, I always knew you were meant for something big. Your father would be so proud. I am so proud. Love, Mom. I sat there holding that letter. Tears streaming down my face, all the work. All the sacrifice, all those lonely nights. They had led to this, not just success, but making my family proud. I called her immediately. We talked for an hour. She told me stories about my father, how he'd always encouraged my creativity, how he used to say I could do anything I set my mind to. He'd love Myra, she said. He'd wear one of those dresses himself just to support you. I laughed through tears. That sounds like him. After we hung up, I sat in the quiet office, thinking about how far I'd come. 3 years ago, I was a girl who wasn't good enough for someone's family. Now I was a designer whose brand represented strength to thousands of women. The transformation hadn't happened overnight. It was built stitch by stitch, decision by decision, late night by late night. I thought about Daniel sometimes, wondered if he followed Myra's success, if he told people he used to date me, if he understood what he'd really lost. But those thoughts didn't consume me. They were just footnotes in a story that had become so much bigger than him. The real victory wasn't proving him wrong, it was proving myself right. I had believed I could build something meaningful, and I had done it. Year 3. Myra was nominated for an Emerging Designer Award at the city's annual fashion gala. The same gala Daniel had uninvited me from. The irony was perfect. I designed a dress specifically for it, floor-length navy with silver threading that caught light with every movement. The night of the gala, I arrived with my team. Jasmine looked stunning in Myra. We walked in together, a unified front. The venue was exactly as I'd imagined years ago. Crystal chandeliers, champagne towers, beautiful people in expensive clothes, but this time I belonged. No one looked at me like I was less than, they looked at me with respect, recognition, admiration. Emma Carter, a fashion journalist, called out, "You look incredible, Myra is having quite the year." "Thank you. It's been amazing. I heard you're up for the Innovation Award, tough category, but I think you have a real shot." We chatted before I excused myself. That's when I saw them, Daniel's family. His mother stood near the bar in designer everything, talking to women I didn't recognize, his father nearby laughing. They hadn't noticed me yet. I could have avoided them. Could have stayed on the other side all night, but something made me walk over. As I approached, Daniel's mother turned, our eyes met. I saw recognition flicker, then discomfort. "Mrs. Harrison," I said politely, "it's been a long time." She recovered quickly, society's smile sliding into place. "Emma, yes, quite a while. I heard you've been doing well." "I have, thank you." Awkward pause. She clearly didn't know what to say now that I wasn't just the girl. "I've seen your brand in stores," she continued. "Very ambitious. Myra has exceeded my expectations. I'm grateful for how everything worked out." Another woman spoke up. "You're the designer. I love Myra. I bought 3 dresses last month. Thank you so much. That means everything." We chatted briefly about fashion before I excused myself gracefully. As I walked away, I felt Mrs. Harrison's eyes on my back. I didn't turn around. During dinner, the awards ceremony began. Several categories first, then mine. The Innovation in Fashion Award recognizes a designer who brought fresh perspective and authenticity to the industry. They listed 5 names. Mine was 4th. "And the winner is Emma Carter, Mira." The room erupted. I stood up, heart racing, and walked to the stage, lights bright, crowd a sea of faces. I took the award, beautiful crystal sculpture, and approached the microphone. "Thank you. 3 years ago I was sewing dresses in a tiny apartment, wondering if anyone would ever notice. I had no connections, no funding, plenty of people who doubted I could make it." I paused, found Mrs. Harrison's face in the crowd. "But I learned something important. Your worth isn't determined by what others think of you. It's determined by what you do when they count you out." Maury applause. Myra started as a personal mission, to build something meaningful, to prove to myself that I had value. Along the way, it became bigger than me. It became a brand that represents independence and strength for women everywhere. I held up the award. "This isn't just mine. It belongs to every person who believed in themselves when no one else did, who worked late nights and took risks and refused to give up. Thank you." Standing ovation, immediate. I walked off stage in a daze. Backstage, my team swarmed me. Hugs, congratulations. "Speech was perfect," Jasmine said, wiping tears. "I'm so proud." "We did this together," I reminded her. The reception after was overwhelming in the best way. Well-wishers everywhere, people wanting photos, business cards pressed into my hand. Then I saw him moving through the crowd. Daniel, he looked different, older, more worn. The confidence he'd carried so easily was diminished. "Emma, congratulations, your speech was incredible." "Thank you. Can we talk privately?" I hesitated. Then nodded. We stepped onto a balcony overlooking the city. "I saw you talking to my mother," he said. "I was being polite. She told me you were gracious." That surprised her. "People change, Daniel. I have, maybe she hasn't." He leaned against the railing, looking out at the lights. "I think about that night constantly. When I told you that you weren't good enough, it's probably the biggest regret of my life." "I appreciate you saying that. I was a coward. Let fear and family pressure dictate everything. I gave up the best thing that ever happened to me because I was too weak to stand up for what mattered." I listened without interrupting. "Seeing you tonight, watching you accept that award, your speech, it made me realize how much I lost. Not just you, but the chance to be part of something real." I took a deep breath before responding. "Daniel, I understand what you're saying. I forgive you, but you need to understand something too." He turned to face me. "You didn't lose me. You revealed who you were, and that gave me the freedom to become who I am. If you had stayed, if you'd been supportive, maybe I would have been comfortable. Maybe I wouldn't have pushed this hard. Maybe Myra wouldn't exist." He absorbed this silently. "I'm not saying you did me a favor. What you did hurt. It hurt a lot. But I used that pain. I transformed it into something purposeful. So in a strange way, I'm grateful for how things unfolded." "Are you happy?" he asked quietly. I smiled. "Extremely. I wake up every day excited. I have a team I trust. I'm building something that matters. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. With someone. That's not the question that matters anymore. I'm complete on my own. Anything else is just bonus." He nodded, acceptance settling over him. I genuinely hope everything continues well for you. Thank you. I hope you find what you're looking for. We stood in silence, city noise filling the space between us, then I turned toward the door. I should get back, my team is probably wondering where I went. Emma, he called, I looked back. For what it's worth, you were always good enough, I was the one who wasn't. I smiled sadly. I know, but thank you for finally saying it. I walked back into the reception, leaving him alone on that balcony. Inside, the party continued. I rejoined my team. Took photos, discussed collaborations. The night was a celebration of everything Myra had become. As the evening wound down, I stood by the window, looking out at city lights, holding my award. Jasmine appeared beside me. Penny, for your thoughts. Just reflecting, 3 years ago I was uninvited to this event. Tonight I won an award at it. That's quite the transformation. It's more than that. 3 years ago I needed someone else's approval to feel valuable. Tonight I know my worth. And it has nothing to do with what anyone thinks. She clinked her glass against mine. To knowing your worth, to building something that matters. We drank to that. Later, riding home, I thought about Daniel's words. You were always good enough. He was right, but not how he meant. I had always been good enough, I just hadn't known it yet. His rejection didn't make me work harder. It revealed I was already capable of greatness. I just needed to believe it myself. Myra wasn't revenge. It wasn't about proving him wrong. It was about proving myself right. Some people leave because they want more, others because they're afraid. Daniel left because he was weak, but I left to build myself. When someone tells you you're not good enough, you have two choices: believe them and make yourself small, or use it as fuel to become undeniable. I chose the second option. Watching him realize what he lost felt good. But it felt better knowing I would have built Myra regardless. My success wasn't about him at all. It was about me, my vision, my refusal to be defined by anyone else's limitations.